So today we'll be discussing the topic of peace, specifically inner peace, and we will be exploring all the different aspects that lead to inner peace. Inner peace is a difficult thing to find even in the best of times. And so when we're faced with challenges as we are right now today in this time, we really have maybe a more difficult time finding that inner peace. Not only that, we forget how to get there. It becomes a very, you get lost, you get confused, you get stumped in where to start. So we're going to go through some practical ways of finding inner peace today. We're also going to look at all the different things that help inner peace become a thing that we're able to access. So just so you know, we are already with that within us. We have it. We just have to find it. We have to get to it. It's a mystery sometimes because we're layered with so many emotions and so many thoughts and so many external circumstances that bring us into those challenging states where we're struggling to keep our balance and our cool and keep together, but never mind find inner peace. That's like the last thing on the list. We're just really trying to hold it together. The program that I'm offering today is to help us get back to that place that we know we can find whenever we need it. So we'll be going through those steps. So my name is Nora Benian, and I've been teaching yoga for about 13 years. I'm a life coach, a counselor, and a wellness consultant. And it is a common thing for people to need some assistance from time to time, or even just read a good book or listen to a good talk to help us get back in alignment with what we already have known, but we've forgotten. The definition of peace is, there's many definitions. So obviously we know of some that are about tranquility and quiet and no disturbance. That's one kind of peace that we could have. But peace, there's civil, disturbance. If we have freedom from that, then we have peace amongst countries or counties or whatever it is. We also have the laws that take place with peace. But one of my favorite definitions here is freedom from oppression of thoughts or emotion. So a lot of our non-peace comes from our own thinking. And our thoughts interfere with our ability to find that inner peace. We get carried away. It's almost like we're on a runaway train sometimes with the way that we're thinking. And it's sometimes very difficult to stop it or shift gears or even notice that you're doing it. So we're going to be working on ways that you can notice these things. There's other definitions of peace, but we all have our own. Eleanor Roosevelt said, it isn't enough just to talk about it. We must really work at it. And you can't work at it until you believe in it. So you must know that it's possible and then be able to apply what you know to get there. And it does take effort and it does take practice and it's a repetition. Peace is a flighty, momentary thing sometimes. So we have moments of it. We have long periods of it because we've changed something in our lives and now things are more smooth or harmonious. But we also have very chaotic periods where there is only fractions of a moment where we can actually feel peace. After a long day, you sit down, the first few breaths you take after sitting down are peaceful moments. But then as you rest, the mind gets busy again. So we'll be working on that. So peace is tranquility. So tranquility can mean many things. For me, it means just pleasant sounds, pleasant sights, nothing disturbing. Everything seems very harmonious. And then there's harmony. And harmony among people, harmony in your job, harmony with yourself, because we have these two sides of ourself all the time, in conflict or working things out. So harmony is another way that we're going to experience peace. Now, you can create that. That's not impossible to create. And so then we have agreements. And when we're in agreement with people, we naturally feel peace. And when we are not, it is difficult to find peace. So how do you find peace even where there is no agreement? Now that's another subject. We'll be moving on in more of a personal experience for this talk today. Calm. So calm means a lot of things. Calm nervous system is probably the best thing that we could be hoping for, because when the nervous system is calm, the mind is more calm, and then we think more calmly, and we have more smooth, even kind of brain waves where we're not radically thinking one thing and then the opposite thing. So whenever you think anything radically, know that there'll be an opposite. So your brain waves will be jutting up like this, whereas we can really make them more smooth and regulated and calm. And then, of course, stress-free state. Well, I have to tell you that probably we will not ever really find very long periods of that. But we can if we learn how to deal with the stress. So stress is normal. It's a part of our development. It's a part of our growth. It's a part of our learning. It's a part of our strengthening and our ability to evolve. So if we don't have stress, we don't have growth. And growth is what we're really here for. Our purpose is really to learn and advance and evolve into a higher self, which already exists, but we need to live out that higher self. Many of us are living in our lower selves when we're fearful and angry and all those things. So what we want to do to feel peace is to bring ourselves from the lower aspects of humanity to the higher. And of course, that means taking you up to the spiritual realm, or whichever, the realm of the heart, however you want to look at it. Silence is very helpful for finding peace, because the brain has to process every little sound, every little flash of light, every little movement that passes you, every little vibration that is in the air. So your brain has to keep working when it's hearing things. And when we have silence, the brain can rest. And when the brain rests, we find peace. Peace doesn't always mean we have always a negative experience and now we want to find peace. Peace really means rest, a state of non-thinking, of non-acting, of non-judging, all of those things. Although we can put peace into action, and so we can be doing with peace. But first, we need to know what peace is, and that would require for us to spend some time practicing finding it. Joy, of course. Joy is something that takes you out of that negative place into a more positive place, and it changes your vibration, it changes your hormone production, making your whole body feel better. And when your whole body feels better, you feel better, and that can bring you peace as well, because we all know when we're not feeling joyful, it's hard to be at peace with life and ourselves. So lack of conflict would be obviously agreement. But conflict can be something within yourself. Let's say you're trying to make a decision, you're trying to move forward in some way, and you're not quite sure which is the right way, you're going to have some inner conflict. It's natural, it's normal, it's a part of our development, and we need it, but we can't let it keep us from finding peace. So we need to recognize that's what's happening, and we need to put it off to the side for periods of time and say, okay, I can't come to a decision yet, but I certainly can let it rest for a little bit so I can feel some peace. And a nice thing to do in a situation like that is to imagine you found the answer. You've come to a resolution. Just by imagining you've reached that place, peace happens. So we don't need to have the resolution yet. We need to imagine that there is an answer, and we will find it. So that can bring us a great amount of peace. Unity, of course, we all feel so much happier and more at peace when everyone is getting along. But unity is a feeling that you can create. You can put yourself in a position to say, yes, we're all human. Yes, we all have a heart beating. Yes, we all have trials and tribulations and difficulties and challenges. And right now, every single human on this earth is having the same concern and fear. So we're united in this at this point. And that can bring some peace too. You're not alone. Stillness, again, moves back to calm nervous system. When you're still, you're not stimulating the nervous system. And when you're not stimulating the nervous system, the brain can rest. When the brain rests, it doesn't have a chance, it doesn't even want to go into negative thinking. It just rests in a state of peace. So sometimes all we really need to do is stop and breathe and rest, and we can come to a place of peace. But there's all kinds of challenges that can also interfere, so we're going to carry on. Nobody can bring you peace but yourself. There's no external anything, nothing. You can have a glass of wine. You can take some kind of medication. You can watch a movie that's enjoyable and peaceful, but that isn't long-lasting and internal, and that isn't self-generated, and it will not really solve the issue. You can't keep running to distractions. You need to turn inward and deal with things. So if you don't get what you want, you suffer. If you get what you want, you suffer. Even if you get exactly what you want, you still suffer because you can't hold on to whatever it is forever. You know that it will break, be lost, be taken. The life of it will end. You know, your new iPhone won't be that special anymore next year when there's another new one. So you're going to have to deal with the fact that anything you get from the outside is only temporary and sometimes causes you more grief than it does joy. Your mind is your own predicament, and it wants you to be free from change and free from pain and free from the obligations in life. And it says here death, but really, I can't relate to that one yet. I do know that we have a lot of obligations in life, and living life can be a burden sometimes, and that can take us out of our peaceful state. And usually that's because we're tired, and all we really need to do is rest. But change is law, and no amount of pretending will alter that reality. So just remember, everything is going to change, and that's a good thing because this is going to change too, and we're going to come back to feeling more free to move around again and more comfortable in the environment of other people. It's always available. Peace is always within us. It is part of our makeup. It is our very essence. We are minds, okay? So we're going to make the distinction between what is a part of us, which is taking us out of peace and which can bring us peace. All you really have to do is reach for it, and it's there. And Elizabeth Gilbert in Eat, Pray, Love says, we don't realize that somewhere within us all there does exist a supreme self who is eternally at peace. So what takes away our peace? Disagreements. We already know why, right? Because that's it's hard to live with someone who you're in disagreement with. We're reaching for harmony, but there's a process. From a disagreement, you can reach a peaceful state. You can work through what you disagree about. You can explain to each other. There's effort here. There's a need for some communication that might be challenging, but you can also agree to disagree, which is a nice way to allow some time and space to happen so you both have an opportunity to find or listen to the other person's side and take it in and consider it. So it's a process. Disagreements should not take away your peace if you can at least agree to disagree. Noise, yes, I have sensitive ears. Every little noise disturbs me. Because it upsets my nervous system. And so it takes me out of my place of peace. But this is a part of life. There are noises everywhere. Children make noises, dogs make noises, and of course we have machines and things like that that make noises too. So learning to accept the fact that there will be noise and getting over it as soon as it happens is the best way to come back to a peaceful state. Worry, we all worry. Worry is unnecessary really in the end, but we have a difficulty understanding when it starts and when it's starting to cause us trouble. We have concerns, and we must think about our concerns because that's what helps us solve our problems and avoid problems. But worry is something that gets out of hand. It moves beyond concern, and it starts to take a life of its own, and it brings your energy down, it puts you in a negative state, and it creates a lot of fear. Fear is unavoidable. We are humans. We are concerned about our survival. We are concerned about our children's survival, our parents' well-being, all kinds of things. We're concerned about the environment. We have a lot of things that we have to fear, but knowing that it's fear can allow you to at least be understanding of how you're feeling and accepting the fact that humans have fear. It's very difficult to walk through life and say, I'm never going to fear anything. Now, I have to tell you, the more trust you have in the process of life, the more you are able to walk without fear. So trust and faith. So we don't need to talk about religious faith, but faith in life or faith in yourself. So for me, I'm stepping into a new realm. I'm now speaking on camera. It's not exactly new to me because I've done other things, but not this. And there's going to be a little bit of fear and concern about being able to do it well or present things the way I would hope to. But that is a fleeting fear. That is a short-term fear. We're talking about long-term fears here. You can't live your life in a fearful state and expect to have a good outcome. You need to be able to step out of the fear with faith or with trust that you're capable of handling life situations. And if you look back to where you've come from, how many things have you dealt with already? And most of them have come out successful. So just look back, take stock, recognize that this is just another opportunity for you to grow and to rise above it. Become brave. So guilt is really a wasteful kind of emotion. A lot of us have it when we feel like we've done something wrong or when we know we've upset somebody. But again, this is another human experience of growing and learning. Learn from it. Yes, I did something wrong. I pray or hope I will never do that again. I will work on not doing that again, and then I can let it go and forgive the fact that I've made a mistake or done something wrong. So guilt is not something you need to carry. It's too harmful. Shame is another one of those things. Now, most people who experience this are really living in their early childhood memory of being shamed. I don't think this is something we naturally do to ourselves. I could be wrong, but I believe that this is coming from an external previous experience and it's been ingrained and we can shed it. It does not need to be carried. Low self-esteem, well, this comes with feeling as though you've done something you're proud of. Now, the only way to get over low self-esteem is to step out of your comfort zone and do something different, try something new, take a course, learn a new something, and then look at what you've done. Every time you've accomplished something, even the tiniest little thing, you have so much greater respect for yourself. So low self-esteem is lack of respect for the self, and really, it also comes from comparing yourself to other people, which we know is not healthy. We don't need to do that. Everybody has their own role. Everyone has their own duty, their own purpose. We don't need to be anywhere similar to anybody else. We need to only feel good about ourselves. So once you do, peace comes in. We don't need to feel anything other than that. Stress, we know about stress. It doesn't go away. It comes up, it goes down, but it's never going to be gone. We always will have something that challenges us. And pain, well, this one is a bit more challenging to deal with because pain can really exhaust you. When you're exhausted, it is difficult to feel peace. You feel negative when you're exhausted. So I would suggest resting, getting the therapies that you need, learning how to help yourself, self-massage, eating well, self-hypnosis or meditation on pain, that type of thing. You can talk yourself out of feeling things as much as you are, and you can talk yourself into feeling them more. So be aware of the fact that you still can do something to control your level of pain, and when the level of pain goes down, you feel more peace. There's hope. Frustration always leads to anger. Frustration is not accepting the challenge. So when you have a challenge right in front of you, you're working on something, you're trying to figure it out, it's not going, it's because there's something that has to be noticed, something that has to be tweaked, something that is requiring greater attention. Once you've come down from that place of frustration and you've allowed yourself some time to examine the situation, usually you figure it out and you realize there was nothing to get upset about. Now, some situations are bigger than others, and some things will take more time, but frustration is no way to solve a problem. You cannot, in that nervous, anxious, angry state, do anything well. So I would suggest pulling away, looking at it again when you're ready, when you have the strength to look at it again calmly, and you'll probably figure it out at that point. And if not, you'll need to do that step again. Anger is an explosion of pent-up energy of so many times thinking negatively. It's also self-defense. Now, so if you're feeling like someone is stepping over the boundary, yes, you're going to feel angry. And you know what? You're supposed to express that so that they know they're stepping over the boundary. So it's not something you shouldn't have. It's something you can choose when to have. You can control your anger. You can decide. And besides, it's very, very toxic for your liver. And it makes lines on your face. And it is not a state you want to be in for very long because you become that way. So know that it's okay to express it, but it's also okay to choose another type of expression. So that is a tough one. You might need counseling to cope with that if you have anger management difficulties. So where do the emotions come from? Our thoughts. What we think about a situation and how we judge the situation creates the emotion. So thinking creates a vibration. That vibration settles into the cells. The cells express themselves, especially as you're processing things, as you're eliminating, as you're digesting. All your cells are feeling everything that you think. So you really need to be aware of what you're thinking, which is why we're going to do our meditation at the end. So who creates these thoughts and judgments? Well, this is where we start to look at ourselves a little bit more closely. What about your soul? Do you think your soul creates these judgments? I don't think our souls create judgments. Our souls are here with wide open eyes, like young children, observing and learning and accepting and working with everything that comes our way. It's our ego, that who we think we are. So ego is a very interesting thing. It has a purpose. Freud has referred to it as the conscious decision maker, the I, when I decide to do something or I don't like something. This is my ego. My ego is the opinionator. It chooses things it likes and dislikes. It has opinions about things, and it also has judgments. And who you think you are in the world is built up on your lack of security within. So when I was younger, I used to create this image of myself in my mind to make myself feel better so I could go out there and do something without feeling all weak and scared. That's good, but it's a temporary fix. What I really need to do is just have faith that I can handle something and do it, and then say, yes, see, you can do it. And now you don't have to build up a false sense of security. Ego does help us do some things, though. First of all, I can call myself something. I can call myself a life coach or a yoga therapist, because that is my label. And the ego is about a label as well. But it also helps you to process information from your own perspective. Now, the problem with ego is we don't often step out of our viewpoint. We really need to see things from many different viewpoints to truly get a wider, greater sense of what the truth of a situation might be. So if we don't step out of our own viewpoint and see things from another perspective, we will lack growth. We will have difficulty adapting. Fear sets in. We will contract. When we contract, we don't have energy flow. When we don't have energy flow, we feel sad, tired, angry, weak, and a bunch of other things. And this takes our peace away. In the yogic philosophy, it is said that the ego is formed when the soul enters the body, and it identifies itself with the physical form and personality. So we carry this, but ego can change. I've changed my ego many times. I was a gymnast, I was a hairdresser, then I was a yoga teacher, now I'm a therapist. And so there's a new version of myself that I need to adapt my ego to. My ego is my servant, though. So it is considered an obstacle to my growth as long as it is in charge, as long as it's making the decisions and thinking, yes, this is no good for you, or that is good for you, or you don't like this person. That person you don't like could have a lesson for you. Now you're missing out on some growth. So it is only helpful when being used to serve the soul to move forward to the divine, which however you look at that. So the literal meaning of ego is that which makes the I. So Deepak Chopra says we must go beyond the constant clamor, the clinging and climbing and wanting to control of the ego, and go beyond the tools of logic and reason, because this is how we usually solve everything. And you have to go to that still, calm place within you, the realm of the soul. The soul is the true learner, the guide to your life existence. It tells you where to go, what to do, what to attract, what to learn, in a small voice that speaks to you that you can only hear if you quiet down those external egoistic type of thoughts. And Marvin Gaye says it nicely here. You can't find peace within yourself. You will never find it anywhere else. You will have moments of it. You can go to the beach, you can go to the mountains, but your own self goes wherever you go. And your own lack of peace is what you are creating within you. So you can't really run away from it. Humans have existed on Earth and have been in the process of continuous change for more than 200,000 years. External forces such as evolving environment served as a catalyst for human evolution, or they risk extinction. Humans have the knowledge, skills, and intellectual capabilities to choose the destiny of humanity by intentionally shaping human evolution rather than reactively evolving to changes to the environment or whatever. Internal forces within us, rather than external, can now serve as a catalyst for human evolution. So yes, we have still some terrible events that happen in the world, but for the most part, we're the ones that can grow. We can choose how to grow. Life doesn't have to make us, because a thing happened. Some of us don't want to grow, and then this is when life steps in and does something for you, and you have to adapt. So you're really here to grow. If you don't step out of your comfort zone and help yourself get into a place of deeper understanding of yourself, life won't do it for you. And then it doesn't feel as nice. It feels forced upon you. So to understand how humans can intentionally shape the future of humanity requires an understanding of how we may be deliberate in our thinking and actions and positively advance the human condition. And this was written by Robin Short, The Neuroscience of Peace. It's a book on the creating neural pathways. Very, very good book. Peace takes effort. It isn't given just like that, although there are moments of grace. But that usually comes with a period of effort before it. So don't reach for it in a way that you think it's going to come easily. You step into it knowing that there's some effort and work involved. Life will give you whatever experience is most helpful for the evolution of your consciousness. How do you know this is the experience you need? Because it is the experience you're having at this moment. So accept it. Eckhart Tolle is a wonderful teacher, spiritual teacher. He's here in Canada, in BC. He's got so many great teachings. Just find them, look him up. He's written several good books. You probably know about some of them. You also need to forgive yourself for not being at peace, because we think we should be able to find peace at any time. We're yogis, we're spiritual people, we're working on this. Why can't we find peace? It just happens that we get off balance sometimes, or things are just so difficult to accept. The moment you accept it, accept the non-peace, peace happens. You create it. It's like a problem in your body. Let's say you have an ache. The ache, you can't run away from the ache, but you try. You try to ignore it, you try to take medicine for it, you try to do all kinds of things, but as soon as you lay your attention upon that ache, the ache feels your attention, which then starts to dissolve it and make it better. Same thing with this. So you can't run away from the things that are causing you to feel lack of peace. You need to examine them and go into them. Anything you accept fully will get you there, take you into peace. And so this is the miracle of surrender. Surrendering is a very important aspect of finding peace. If we're not surrendering to what is, we're never going to find peace. And Buddha says to understand everything is to forgive everything. So when you accept it, you get closer to understanding it. And once you do, it's so much easier to forgive it. You get where it comes from. But you can do this the other way around. You can just accept it and forgive it. Out of the goodness of your heart, and understanding will come. And Swami Shivananda, who is a spiritual teacher that I've been studying from his books, says, "It is in the tranquility and the quiet of the night that the seed slowly sprouts from under the soil. The bud opens in the depth of the most silent hours. So also in the state of peace and love, people evolve and grow. We evolve and grow in chaos and conflict, and we evolve and grow in peace. You need to have both for a full experience of life. And the more aligned you are with your truth, the more at peace you can feel." So truths for peace. Now, here's where we're starting to do some work. First of all, know this. It is impossible for anyone to define you. You don't even need to define yourself. But if they're defining you, really don't listen, because they're only seeing what they can see from their level of evolution. So anybody who's looking at, even if it's your parent or your sibling, they're still limited. You can be much more than what they think you are, and you don't need anyone to define you. And you don't even have to define yourself, because if you do, you get stuck in that definition. This is a part of ego we want to avoid. You were born with everything that you need, and this is true for everybody, regardless of what they came into this life with. Our soul has a particular set of lessons that it needs to learn in this lifetime. And you are given exactly what you need to access those lessons and learn from them. And so, yes, there are more unfortunate people than we are, but they are given what they need for their soul's growth. And so we don't need to walk around feeling sorry and sad for everybody all the time. Yes, bad things happen, and it is nice to have compassion, and it is important to express compassion. They need it in those times of difficulty. But the truth is that we all have exactly what we need to experience the life we're here to experience. Not all of us are going to have the same experiences, and the unfortunate are teaching us too. Perfection is a man-made illusion. So, you know what? Anything that is the way that it is right now is actually perfect. And if you can see it that way, you are one step ahead of the game. You are keeping yourself from all those negative thinking patterns. You are putting yourself in a much higher state of operation. You'll find peace much more easily. And you are not your thoughts. Thoughts are these things that are impressed upon us by the external world, what you watch, what you hear, what you have observed in life. You have all kinds of seeds planted in your mind. They're going to come up. They may not even have anything to do with what's happening right now. You have memories sprouting up from years ago that you totally didn't even remember happening. But your thoughts are like flashes and images of things that you have paid attention to at some point or have been impressed upon you. They are not you. They are things that have happened in passing. And the big things have shaped you. The little things, maybe a little bit, but you can still shape yourself from this point forward, and you don't need to carry forth anything that you've thought of yourself in the past. And your beliefs can be modified. You don't have to keep carrying the same beliefs. You can change them. You can alter them. You can look at things from another perspective and create a new belief that's going to help you advance and grow and feel more peace. Your past and future, they don't really exist, only in your mind. So it's up to you whether you keep them going or not. And I have to tell you, they take away from everything that's happening right now. Being in the present moment is the best place to feel peace. Let's just notice, how are you feeling in this moment, sitting down right now, listening to this? How do you feel? Are you okay? Is all your needs met at this moment? Do you have a real worry in this moment? Or any concern really even about the next moment? When you're in this moment, you have the ability to feel peace. So if you can only take this one thing from today, be in the present moment. That's going to bring you where you need to be. Your calling in life is to fully express who you are. Do not feel ashamed. Do not feel that it is an inconvenience for others. Just be who you are. Those who will be naturally gravitating to you are meant to be in your life, and those who are somehow repelled by you are not meant to be in your life. You don't need to alter yourself at every single moment in order to please another. Just be who you are, express yourself the way you do. You'll learn from it that way too. When you say something, you're like, oh wow, I really thought that? Yeah, you really thought that. That means something deeper is going on inside and you need to deal with it. Challenges are your gift for growth. I know you've heard this, but it's hard to accept it when it is so difficult, like we're having right now. Forgiveness is absolutely important. If you don't forgive yourself or others, you won't find peace. So do it at least for yourself. And when you do it for others, it really helps them too. Surrender is the gateway to sustainable inner peace. So if you can surrender into every moment and accept it as it is, you are going to be fine. You're going to feel peace more often than not. Peace is a place you want to be. It's a state of mind where your body functions optimally, in harmony. You have fewer issues coming up through your life when you can surrender to whatever. Even if you get sick, surrender to that. You'll get better faster. And of course, don't let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. We get angry at so many things that the world is doing, all the politicians, all the people fighting for things. Just don't let that happen. These are people that are having their soul life experience. You don't have to have a judgment about it. Just observe it. Oh, those people are doing that. Interesting. Oh, these people are doing that. That's kind of interesting too. I'm doing this though. And then you don't have to worry about anybody else. So practices for peace, we've already gone through some, but here, forgiveness. You practice forgiveness, you're going to find peace. Acceptance, same thing. Faith in yourself. If you have faith in yourself, you're going to be able to do things you couldn't imagine yourself doing in the past. And now you're doing them. And that brings you this feeling of self-fulfillment, which brings peace. Trust nature. It's got its way of handling things. It just takes time. We need to be patient. So patience is really a virtue. If we have moments where we can practice patience, that is a gift. Do it. Any opportunity you have. Before reacting, step back and view things with a more patient perspective. Imagine yourself in your senior years. How would your grandmother have looked at this situation? How would you see this as a wise person? Wise people have patience. And it's important because we often cause more problems by not being patient. And I'm sure you know what I mean. Presence, being fully present. We talked about this. This is your gateway to peace. And letting go. Let go of what you can't have right now. Let go of not being able to solve a problem at this moment. It'll come. Just let go. What you hang on to is going to feel your pressure. And when you have pressure, you can't have that relaxed state of mind and therefore no peace. Okay, so Eckhart Tolle says, above all, the only thing you have to do is heal the present thought. So forget about everything that's happened in your past. The thought you're having this moment is the only one you need to correct. Correct it. Make it as perfect and as satisfactory to your well-being as possible. Heal your thoughts. Make them the best they can be, and be truthful, of course. And if you get that right, then your whole picture will change into one of harmony and joy. But how do we find peace in chaos? Now, again, we're going to have to work at it. The brain doesn't ignore stress. No matter what you do to distract yourself, it will accumulate and you will notice it. It will be undeniable. But what we need is regular rest. So stop thinking for periods of time. The brain will lose its ability to regulate itself and the rest of the body, the nervous system, the cells, if you don't give it time to rest peacefully, calmly, not thinking for a while. Otherwise, you develop headaches, indigestion, irregular sleep, and these are the signs, early signs, that the brain is overloaded. Of course, there's way more than that. But if you notice these things, then you'll notice, yeah, my brain has probably been working way too hard. So in the most difficult moments, these are some things that you can consider doing. Now, these are not necessarily practical yet. We'll get there. If you can shift out of a negative state and into a neutral state for a while and stay there until you feel more rested and both mentally and emotionally, then you can gather some strength to create a thought that generates courage, a clear perspective, and then you can reassess. The brain waves are being affected. Just know that we have many different brain waves. We'll go over them very briefly here. Brain waves are patterns of electrical activity occurring in the brain and are crucial to all aspects of brain functioning, such as your thoughts, your emotions, your behaviors. Brain activity can be influenced and altered and increased to create a balanced and healthy mental condition. So if you are practicing different types of activities throughout the day, you're bringing in different kind of brain waves which start to balance things out. You can't always be operating in one brainwave. The thinking brainwave is the beta. We don't want to always be there. That's tiring. It's exhausting. Controlling our brainwaves helps to control our state of mind. By raising or slowing the brainwaves, we can alter how we think, feel, and act. Meditation is a process of slowing our waking beta brainwaves to the slower states of alpha and theta, and also gamma, but that's another story, which we can significantly, or by doing that, we significantly improve our mental balance and overall health. So meditation can reduce stress by regulating your cortisol and adrenaline, which decrease blood pressure, heart rate, and calms the nervous system. It improves your mood by increasing the dopamine and serotonin levels, which are your happy hormones, and make you feel more positive. You can improve your cognition, your ability to understand and process, and you increase your gray matter, which helps you do that as well in the brain volume and the cerebral flow, improving your focus and ability to absorb information. Also, you're improving your brain function, your overall brain function, synchronizing the left and right sides, which increases the balance and amplitude of the alpha, theta, and delta brain waves, which are all part of being healthy and balanced. Beta is what I'm doing right now. I'm talking, I'm thinking, I'm talking. You're listening, so you're still there as well because you're processing. Alpha is when you've finished a task and now you're resting. You're much more relaxed here. You're still awake and aware and you're noticing, but you're not doing or really thinking. Theta is what we do when we're on long drives and it's like, oh my God, where did that time go? For 20 minutes, you were in some other state. Theta is like your daydream state. It's a healing state too, and you want to be able to find this state, and you find it through meditation. There's other things that take you there, but creativity like painting, making music, that type of thing. Delta is where you are when you're in a dreamless sleep state, and we need this as well. So getting a good sleep is very important. So complete peace equally reigns between two mental waves. So if we can regulate our waves and rest for a little while between them, that's a peaceful state. Changing your perception to change your perspective of an experience doesn't mean you're denying its occurrence. It is you who attaches meaning to your experience. And so changing your perspective allows you to gain insight from another possible reality. So you're not just one-sided. And within that reality, truths will appear, broadening your understanding and ability to find ways to adapt and cope. So we're going into some meditation now. The goal of meditation isn't to control your thoughts. So remember this, we're not trying to control them. We don't want them to control us. So the mind is like water. It is when it's turbulent, it's difficult to see, but when it's calm, everything becomes clear. And so meditation retains clarity for a longer time. It clears the mind of unnecessary thoughts. It helps to grasp, think, and express more clearly, sustains our energy at higher levels, maintains a calmer state even in difficult situations. So if you're a practiced meditator, you're not going to react the same way other people are. And it keeps you grounded when you're excited, which is not a downer, it's a balancer. It's something that we should consider also regulating. Excitement can take you out of balance. When your perception and observation are clear, you know how to express yourself better and how to do what's best for you. So how meditation brings peace is like this. Meditation slows the wavelengths, which equals more time between your thoughts. More time to choose your thoughts because you can see them and notice them. And then more clarity in the actions you should take, which then brings more satisfaction from the actions you've taken. And therefore you'll feel more peace. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything, and what we think, we become. So breath work, Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It calms the mind, it calms the blood pressure, it lowers the blood pressure, it calms the nervous system. It helps you reach deeper states of mind, and it helps you bring to the surface buried emotions that you have pushed away. And these buried emotions cause you mental tension, which take away your peace. And breathwork brings you more oxygen. And so that's what nourishes us, and that's what brings us energy. So by having that, we can live life better. So finding inner peace requires you first to get grounded. So let's start the process of meditation, okay? First, you can keep your eyes open. I'll let you know when we're going to go right in. So get grounded. So feel the weight of your body sitting down on the chair. Fix your gaze upon something. I picked this flower because I thought it was beautiful. Relax your jaw and your face and find your breath. So just let the belly be soft. Take a few deep breaths. While you're sitting up tall, relax the shoulders down, soften the belly. Take in a gradually deepening breath all the way down to the belly. So to the bottom of the ribs, and you know that the diaphragm pushes out into the belly, which is why the belly rises and falls when we're breathing. So as you inhale, count in about a 4-count breath, and then hold it for about 3 seconds. And then let it out slowly, eventually maybe getting to a count of 8 on the exhalation. So we'll do this for just a couple of minutes. Inhale, filling up, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. Inhale. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can continue this if you like. So while we're here, you don't have to close your eyes yet, but just notice. Notice how you feel. Observe everything around you, or just observe how you're feeling. Be a witness to this experience. Become still and present. Allow yourself to feel everything that you're feeling without thinking negative about it. You don't have to judge anything. Just, oh, that's how I feel. Okay. You want to stay with the breath. You want to stay still. Continue being present. Just stay neutral. You know, any thoughts arise, just, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then stay with yourself. Don't let your mind move to another object or person. Just stay with yourself. This is the hardest thing, staying with yourself. Observe yourself. Be opinionless. Don't attach anything to what you're noticing. Don't analyze it. Just take everything in, including the breath. Try to be empty of thoughts for a while. So another great thing that you can do for meditation is visualize. One thing that I suggest people do when they're not feeling peaceful, if they have a moment after they've settled down and taken a few deep breaths, to visualize a place that makes them feel peaceful. So it could be anything, but that's a really good place to take yourself. So close your eyes now. And maintain your tall posture and your relaxed shoulders and face and jaw. We're We're going to meditate to help us find peace and balance, especially right now with all the uncertainty in the world at this time. So we're sitting up tall with our eyes closed. You can take both your hands and place them upon your heart if you like, or just let them rest down on your thighs. Take a deep breath in, continue breathing as we were, 4 counts in with a little pause and 8 counts out. And feel and listen to the beat of your heart. With each beat, let it remind you of the beautiful energy of life, the prana that is within you. With each beat, connect to the rhythm, letting it take you deeper into the internal experience of your own being. Take another deep breath in through the nose, and a long exhalation out. Allow yourself to feel your presence comforting and grounding you. At this point, you can release your hands onto your lap and or take the hands into chin mudra, thumb and index tips touching with the palms up or down on the knees. Relax your face. Bring your attention to the space between your eyebrows, your third eye. Simply focus on this point and observe the feeling and notice how your mind becomes still. Continue breathing in and taking a slow, long exhale out. Let go of tension in the face, the temples, the forehead. Let the eyes to just rest, feeling heavy. Unclench the jaw. Relax the scalp. Allow this relaxation to move down to your shoulders, your arms, your hands, and your fingers. Relax the shoulder blades down the back. Relax the upper back, the lower back, and the belly. Relax your hips, your legs, your feet, your toes. Feel the pull of gravity and allow it to ground you. Simply stay present. Notice your breath as you breathe in and out. Notice the coolness of the air coming in through the nostrils as you breathe in. And notice the warmth of the air leaving your nostrils as you breathe out. Notice other sensations you may be having. Just notice. Be the watcher of your experience. Enjoy this moment of silence and disconnection from the world. And connect to your inner world. You deserve it. This is a time when it is very normal for our minds to want to cling to something. Perhaps fear of the future. Your mind will flit about for a while, and that's okay. Simply come back to noticing the breath and come back to this present moment. Take a deep breath in and a long, slow exhale out. In this moment, it is okay to realize that you may be feeling uncertainty, stress, or anxiety in your life. But remember, it's simply a reaction to the circumstances around you, which is creating a projected future that has not happened yet and won't necessarily happen either. Even though we may not be able to control what life brings our way at this time, we do have control over how we react to the challenges of any situation brought forward to us. So breathe in and breathe out. And in this moment, choose to let all that negative, fearful energy go. Release it into the ground, into the earth. Let gravity help you let it go. Choose peace and enjoy the simplicity of this very moment. Being here with yourself, give yourself permission to feel, to be, and to let go. Give yourself permission to be strong, to be healthy, and to be peaceful. Breathe in and exhale out. You can visualize a beautiful radiant white light around you. See this white light of love entering your body through the breath. Welcome this light into every fiber of your being and every cell of your body. Visualize this radiant white light healing your body in all the ways you need it. Allow it to make you stronger, healthier, and lighter. On the exhalation, visualize dark gray energy leaving the body, purifying you. Inhale, the beautiful white light fills you up. And exhale what you no longer need. Inhale, radiant light. Exhale all the weight off your shoulders. Inhale and exhale. As we go deeper, bring your attention back to your third eye. All you have to do is look at it from the inside. So your eyes are closed and you're gazing up toward this space in the middle of the head. Continue breathing in and exhaling out. Don't let your mind interrupt this. Repeat to yourself, I'm in control of this moment and I seek peace of mind. Inhaling white light. A slow, long breath, letting things go deeper. I'm going to introduce a mantra to help you find peace that you can repeat at any time whenever you find the mind or the ego is getting in the way of your peace. Bring this mantra back in. And you can mentally or verbally repeat after me, so it's up to you. As I surrender to the uncertainty of this time, I know that in this moment I am safe. I am guided and I seek peace. As I surrender to the uncertainty of this time, I know that in this moment I am safe. I'm guided and I seek peace. As I surrender to the uncertainty of this time, I know that in this moment I am safe. I'm guided and I seek peace. Just let this sink in. And then we'll take a moment to send out gratitude for all that we have now. Gratitude for your body, your mind, your strength, and your ability to reconnect with yourself. And as you go forward with your day, remember that no matter what emotions rise, the external circumstances, you are still in control how you react to them. Do not let yourself be consumed by fears or negativity. Come back to the idea that you can choose to find peace and joy no matter what life throws at you. Find joy in the simplicity of life and be grateful for all that you have in this moment. You can always come back to the idea that you are in control of your state of mind. You really can bring yourself into whatever state you want. And remember that you are safe in this moment. You are guided and you seek peace in this path of life. May you be healthy. May you find peace within. May you be guided by love. You can open the eyes if you like, slowly. So we're coming to an end here. It's probably 2 more slides. Peace is the result of retraining your mind to process life as it is, rather than as you think it should be. So again, it's the witness and the observer taking it in rather than the ego having an opinion about it. And peace is its own reward. We don't really need more than that. So I invite you to answer or have me answer some questions you might have. Just know that if you would like to have more than this, you can always schedule a session with me. My information is at the bottom of the screen. Namaste. Namaste.